Hi, I'm Sarah, and I have Tourette syndrome, a neurological condition, or brain thingy as I like to call it, that causes me to make certain movements, or tics, and to blurt and shout things out that I shouldn't, and that I can't control. Tourette's has been a real challenge for me. I have a pretty severe case of it, and it is just super hard and painful for me, even with all the advocacy around. There are two key parts to my Tourette syndrome: echolalia and coprolalia. Echolalia are the tics, the compulsion to repeat words or phrases that I have heard other people say, or movements. And coprolalia is the really hard one. It's a part of my Tourette's disorder that only 10% of sufferers have, and is where you feel compelled to swear and shout out rude things, and generally can't stop yourself from that desire to do so or say that taboo thing. It's like a disease. It's always the rudest and most socially unacceptable things that I feel compelled to yell out, and I really have a hard time controlling it. I'm in therapy to try to help me manage my Tourette disorder, and they work on things like retraining my tics to come out in different, more acceptable, and less disruptive ways. For a lot of swearing tics, my therapist would help me change the offensive words into more acceptable ones. Like the word bitch, I would change in my head to bench, and then shout out the word. This way, I'm not working so hard to suppress the tic, which actually makes things worse. Holding that Tourette-level urge in me makes me feel really ill and tired afterwards. Living with Tourette syndrome is constant work for me. Some of the smaller tics that I display are things like blinking a lot or rolling my eyes back and up into my head. I also have some larger movements like shoulder shrugging, or sometimes I just feel the urge to quickly move my head back and forth or to kick my leg out. Anatomy tics that caused me a lot of problems was the urge to click and crack my knuckles all the time, even when they didn't need cracking. When I couldn't crack them with my hands, I would try pressing them down on the table, harder and harder. I ended up really bruising and hurting myself. My teachers and classmates know, of course, and if the tics and Tourette's get too bad in class, I have a tic room I can go to, let it all out, and then head back to class for lessons. I really didn't want to go to a special school. Still, it's really hard to focus and concentrate, and I feel like everyone is staring at me all the time. My friends are great about it, but they even feel the need to point out my tics sometimes, which is kind of annoying. I have done an amazing job living with my Tourette syndrome, and I get better and better at managing it all the time, especially with the help of the counseling. My one message to all those suffering from a disability or condition, or struggling with anything at all: I want you all to know that there is always a light at the end of the tunnel. Things will and do get better, and to have faith.